a couple of teams here. We got Talon and Hora Esports, who left the game empty-handed, unfortunately. But hey, relax, okay? We're still at day number 1 of the playoffs here, and we still got 2 more games again after this one. So there's still like plenty of chances, for Hora Esports to get back on track here. But as for Alpha 7, oh no, Carillo seems to be
Oh,
having some sort of a car trouble here. I mean, obviously, his car is upside down,
somebody
and I
called the
don't think it is
towing.
still going to be possible for him to use this car or like that could, like maybe get it back to the road or for that car to get back on the road here.
hmm Again, some interesting car trouble stuff. We have the parking problem, and now one roof is hitting the ground. So, anyway, vehicles are such a huge part of Miramar map. It allows players to move along and find loot some other place. We have a grenade knocked down, Rosemary down for the count, and Team Secret is again facing off with Alter Ego right now.
Wow.
Alva doing his best, taking down 2 members, dropping them down to the ground. Alter Ego has 1 player knocked down, and across Krypton also drops to the ground from Team Secret. Rosemary is secured as a kill, and 2 players are up for Alter Ego.
I love the accuracy displayed by Alva with the peek and shoot,
Mhm.
putting down 2 members of Team Secret all by himself, single-handedly. That was top-notch performance coming from Alva. And now we've got, of course, still Team Secret on the screen here going up against Alter Ego. We got Zerus with a shotgun. That was an effective counter, putting down Alva in the situation. Now it's up to Moana over here. Alter Ego is now trying to get closer to where Zero is at the moment. Now Zero's cooking up a nade here. Can he put down Moana from this angle with that nade? Moana trying to dance it off. He did not hit him with a nade, but he actually shut him down with a shotgun.
And that is it for Moana and the rest of Alter Ego. They are out for this match. So with 2 points, they are exiting, and that's to be added to their 10 points already secured from the previous matches. Again, this is a great spot that Boom has. They can see RRQ right there moving in with the buggy and a car, and they are pushing in, going full commit to try and raid this spot and take it away from Boom. Again, this is the only way to do it. You have to commit to compete. That is the name of the game for PUBG Mobile.
All right, here we go. RQ coming into play here. We got Boom Yummy getting, getting massacred by RQ. 1 point in their pockets. We've got, of course, Oxygen, if I'm not mistaken, at the rooftop, trying to dominate Boom Esports. And there you go. Zero confirmation coming through, or Zerk, rather, had already been eliminated back into... Yeah, the lone wolf. But he caught a nade to the face, and that was such a brutal move coming from RQ, I can say. Now, 3 points in the bag for RQ.
The part of the job there, everyone is making Boom pay, and they did such a flawless siege of that compound right there. Boom knew they were coming, but they were not prepared for that siege done by the members of RQ. A very worthwhile risk to take for them. And FaZe Clan right now knocking down 1 player. And the thing with Miramar is you have all these CQCs, and you also have to be aware of the ridges where you can expose yourself the moment you take a peek. So all that has to come into play, and we have FaZe here looking at Team Secret from across, and they're watching the movement. Again, trigger discipline being exercised by FaZe Clan right now, with 1 point to their name. Team Secret is trying to evade. Again, he's the lone wolf for his team, so that's a very smart move. But the thing is, how can he delay or deny that kill?
That's the meta evolving in Miramar. Usually, since this is a big map, well, we are used to see a lot of like sniping events, like mid to long range fights, but now we are seeing a lot of CQC happen as well, inside Miramar, which is of course fun to watch. We love the action.
Mhm.
From the kill feed now, we're looking at Tins coming from Vikings, getting knocked down on the ground here versus D plus Kia, ladies and gents. And now, uh, perhaps they already have everything they need inside their backpacks to get into any engagement. So the first team, I believe, would be Vikings. So let's see if Vikings can come up with an effective plan here on how to shut down D plus Kia, or will D plus Kia still continue on with the momentum they were already been able to establish?
Now we all know that how much D plus Kia likes staying on the ridge and seeing everything play out. And right now they are hitting Vikings down, and Vikings is down with that good vantage point from D plus Kia, and we have E-break, I think, trying to catch a break, and he's so close to three members of D plus Kia, but D plus Kia takes the exit strategy and moves out with their vehicles, trying to avoid any more friction with the Vikings right now.
A change in strategy,
Mhm.
maybe just switching their location, maybe switching up angles here. But break, okay. I'm just looking at the position here.
Yeah.
So the fight is actually happening outside of the zone here, but D plus Kia perhaps not interested to take up another fight here, or up against the Vikings, but we're not exactly sure. But as for Chips, okay, he does have a good angle here to begin with, and he's reporting back to the rest of the team here. They're coming up, with a plan on how to go in for a pinch here. But in the meantime, Alpha Gaming is taking in some damage as well. We got one of them down on the ground. Now we're switching back into Vikings, and Tins had already been taken out of the game as well. So we only have 3 more players for the side of Vikings, and they're pretty close with Alpha Gaming. So I do wonder if they will be taking up that fight. 3 elimination points in their pockets, and yeah, we're down to 11 teams remaining, and we are just at stage 3.
Okay, another casualty suffered by Alpha Gaming. Only one player is up. Let's see if there's a possibility to revive. That was Wine Donkey that actually knocked that player down. But we have the Viking squad securing that kill. Joel is inside the compound trying to stay alive, but Superman is pushing in. And oh, there you go. That was a 2-point attack right there. So we have one threat on one side, but it is a teammate that also was watching a bit. So that's a grenade elimination for Superman, but him and Break did really well with that.
And again, this is not the usual gameplay, coming from the side of Alpha 7. Maybe they're trying out new rotations, just like I said. East, he recently joined
For
Alpha Gaming. Yeah, and now again we are curious at position, for the side of Alpha Gaming, and so far we're not seeing the tenacity, the prowess of Alpha Gaming. But then again, this is just like the day one of the playoffs, and we still have a lot of matches to go through. So we just have to wait up until Alpha Gaming decides now this is the time for us to really retaliate. But as for FaZe and of course Claw, that was such a great move coming from Chewy over there, getting some points done as well. And Pepenk, oh no, from Claw. Man, they're not doing good, so far.
Yeah, that was a risk, turning your back when you have an enemy face to face. Okay, but FaZe actually getting the upper hand right there, still with a full squad, taking down 2 players from Claw. Two players are surviving from Claw, but yeah. Oh, over here we have a car knockdown also happening. So again, these are things that you have to make a decision on the fly. If you point your gun at the person or you just try to evade. And right now, Claw and FaZe still at it, 2v4. But Claw trying to claw their way out of that hole that they dug in. And Anar is like trying to avoid that because FaZe clan already took down 2 of their teammates. But here they are crashing into the sights of Sinister, who's wearing a ghillie right here, and he's actually seeing the members of Claw crawl back to where he is, but also tailed
Man.
by FaZe Clan as well.
Okay, for A1 Esports, obviously they do have a compound. They also have the potential to assume a lot of points since there are at least 3 teams headed towards their direction. But then again, we're looking at like how they're going to be defending this compound, right? I mean, is it going to be like an effective strategy for A1 Esports? Because well, D plus Kia is one of the teams there, pretty close with. A1, and they're not making their moves just yet. Favian is currently knocked down on the ground here, while D plus Kia also probably just keeping a close eye onto any enemies that would, of course, hinder them to recuperate in this situation. But as for Sinister, pretty close with the red crate here, so there's a chance for him to level up his gear, so that's always an advantage. But as for Chips, okay, obviously he's trying to flush out RQ from this warehouse, and I believe he needs a little backup, you know, from the rest of the team.
I think he either is flushing them out or at least trying to provide cover as Fabian was being picked up. And what can you say? D plus Kia back with 4 members. He succeeded in distracting some of the other players from the other team. And now D plus Kia is back with 4 players. The question is, will they siege this compound or will they move out? Some smokes are being dropped and RQ is actually making their way across. So now D plus Kia is they are exposed here, and the Vikings actually was the one that took down one of the members of our team.
Oh man.
Nolbu now pushing through,
Oh no!
securing that, and Fabian is at risk again, very low. Sinister also dropping in the hands of D plus Kia. How is D plus Kia keeping up with so many teams?
I do understand the struggle coming from the side of D plus Kia, since they are the ones trying to get inside the zone here, so they will have to deal with at least 2 teams in front of them. That would be FaZe and A1. So let's see if D plus Kia can be successful in maybe putting down a team here, but it will be difficult. It will be a big challenge for the side of D plus Kia, just because of the fact that, you know, they're managing 2 teams, and A1 is inside a compound here, which is, of course, very difficult for any of them to get knocked down at this point.
Again, FaZe and Claw still at it. One of the players from FaZe being taken down by one of the players from Claw. Again, they've been at it for 10 minutes, I think, and they're still on the tail of each other. FaZe with a grenade to Anne, and another retaliation, this time from Yangon for FaZe Clan. So again, Miramar, the challenge is this ridges do not provide cover from all sides. So if you start attacking, you'll be attacked by another team from another side.
All right, here we go. D plus Kia trying to make a move up against A1 Esports to get a hold of this compound. A1 seems to be doing a good job as well defending, but D plus Kia doing some effective counters as well. And look at that, Rowdy, already the last player here from the side of A1. D plus Kia seems to be doing a good job here, taking a hold of this compound. A little weak when it comes to the defense set out by A1. And Rowdy, can he pull off a miracle here and actually win this fight up against the Koreans?
Again, Sinister is down, but I'm betting he can still provide some info in regards to the people that are around him. So Rowdy is trying to get into this compound with 2 remaining D plus Kia players up and attacking him with shotguns. So this is the best close quarter combat that you can actually watch. We have a 2v1 Rowdy against 2 players. He's right here. He's prone. There's smoke all around him. He's trying to evade capture. And we have 2 players from D plus Kia. Are they staying? Are they securing the kill? Or are they just moving out?
For the side of D plus Kia, obviously they didn't really have that option to begin
Oh,
with, right? They needed to actually get inside the circle and they needed to challenge A1 Esports, which they did successfully. But in that process, they also lost two of their members, A1 getting eliminated with 1 point in the bag. And now this is the opportunity for Vikings to actually join into the fight here. They're now flushing out the players of D plus Kia. They do have the advantage. They are a complete squad here, but can D plus Kia defend this?
and the funny thing is, it's actually the Vikings that took out Rowdy from the equation. And now here we have a very successful third party, I must say,
Aw.
for the Vikings taking down our leaders, DP's Kia.
But since they've managed to really rack up quite a number of points here, from the first two matches, I think their overall position will not get touched by other teams just yet, just because of the number of points that they already have under their belt. But that was such a great move, coming from the side of Vikings. Again, timing is everything. You also have to consider that in like the equation as well. But 5 teams remaining. Yangon Galactica's back at the top here. We still got 4 Thrives doing a massive performance here up against Vikings, making sure that, hey, you know what? 4 Thrives is here again for another chicken dinner, and that could happen since we're looking at 4 teams remaining.
Yeah, that was a good attack there by Falak, taking down 2 players. The third one was actually third party by Yangon. The Vikings are out for the count. And right now, 1 player from 4 Thrives is down. But that was such a brave move by Falak right there. But now they are being sieged by Alpha 7. And Alpha 7, it backfires.
A camel.
Players are down left and right. That was a great defense right there by Noki. Point Donkey is third partying and taking down Alpha 7 as well. And we only have 1 remaining player again, Carrillo, trying to stay put and defend himself from the attacks.
Oh!
That is it.
Another effective shot, though, coming from 4 Thrives, eliminating teams remaining. Yangon Galactica still at the top here with the best chance of actually securing that chicken dinner. And welcome back, Point Donkey, into the top 3 once again for match number 4. So let's see if this time around they could be successful in getting that chicken dinner. But in the meantime, let's see how this fight's gonna go down.
Again, we have a 4v4v4, so even playing field all around, which is nice to see. But we have 4 Thrives and Yangon look at each other from this angle. The thing is, we have seen third-party victories from all around. Will that happen again? So we have 40 and 4 Thrives and Yangon right here. Cloud is down. Falak with a successful grenade right there. So Cloud is down for the count, and we have the rest of the Yangon players. Are they gonna move out, or are they gonna get revenge for the lost play?
Man is not looking at the clouds now. But anyway, 4 Thrives continue to thrive here. Now, Yangon Galactica is being quiet at the moment. They're letting everyone fight it out. 4 Thrives go at it, go head-to-head first before they have their exchange with the 2 remaining teams here. So far, they're holding on to this compound over to the southwest side of the circle here. The 2 teams are... I think all the 3 teams here they do have that distance between each other. So this is perhaps our first Mexican standoff.
It is, and quite a fair fight too. We have 4v3. So the thing is, will their patience pay off? Because the way to go right here, the usual route is to let the 2 teams fight it off and then enter at the right time. So let's leave it up to the in-game leaders to call it out when it's time to siege and attack. Noki taking some damage, riding that camel, zigzagging his way through, but Yangon was able to spot him, and that is it. So 1 player is down for 4 Thrives, and that is going to be Noki getting knocked out and down.
Just want to say that no camels were hurt
Yes.
in this in this
Yeah.
tournament. The camels are alive now. Just kidding.
They are unbreakable.
They're unbreakable. But anyway, Boring Donkey, Fourth Rise, Yangon Galactical, still the three teams here for stage number 7. We got Zeta on the screen trying to put down Falak. But this could be tricky though. This could be the end of the line for Falak. I mean, obviously, in this situation, it's already crunch time. It will be difficult for Fourth Rise to pick up their teammate here. T24 and his teammate getting some damage as well coming from Yangon Galacticos. And at this point, just judging the situation here, coach, I feel like there's a big chance Yangon. But we just have to wait. We just have to wait until the circle shifts again.
I mean, I put my bet on Voin Donkey, so I'm not gonna give up on them. But Fourth Rise at you to the burger right here, and that's not the good place to be at.
Oh,
Yangon with a headshot right there, and that is it. I think for Fourth Rise. Fourth Rise is out, so they're not a bad showing. At number 3, Yangon was speeding through, and Razak was ready, and Romeo's ready as well to clap back. Smile is down as well now, and we are seeing the end of this match.
Great timing from Voin Donkey, I can say. You know, the moment that Yangon Galacticos decided to actually leave that compound, it was like the perfect time for them to do that spray, eliminating a player from YG. And now here comes the attack. Here comes the offense now coming from Voin Donkey. It's a two split. Obviously, Razak cooking up a nade here. Same thing goes for Potato. Murnot Boy switching an angle here while Romeo stays inside that compound. What is going to be the situation? And that was such a great spot coming from Potato, putting down one member. And that is it, ladies and gents. Match number 4. Finally, Voin Donkey gets the chicken dinner, and Coach Abby gets a point for her team prediction.
Finally, I have a point on my first time casting for esports, so I just want to flex on that. But again, thank you, Voin Donkey, for securing that win. Really great decision making, again, on the fly. When you have that type of Mexican standoff, 3 teams with kind of equal chances, it's all about timing. It's all about knowing when to strike, and they did just that. The moment that Yangon left the compound to secure that kill, they knew exactly where to go. So yeah, great job for Voin Donkey securing that Miramar win, and it's nice to see a new name take over the chicken dinner.
It's all about the execution, baby. But yeah, you know what? As for Fourth Rise, it wasn't really the best of spots to be in. I mean, obviously, just like what you said, they are the patty and the burger, right? I mean, they're in between 2 teams, so it was really hard for them to defend themselves. Imagine, like, you know, you're trying to manage both directions, which is of course hard. I mean, we're talking about Yangon Galacticos and Voin Donkey, which is of course also considered as, you know, titans in the competitive scene. But that was such a great effort though coming from Fourth Rise. They came close to getting another chicken dinner, so we're not discounting the fact that, you know, they're really top competitors, you know, for this tournament. But we have to give our spotlight, you know, to the boys of Voin Donkey, because this is their like 3rd try, you know, always getting close to that winner chicken dinner. But this is the match wherein they were successful in actually grabbing that chicken dinner by the neck and saying, this chicken is ours.
And the fun thing about it is we have 3 regions represented with the chicken dinner count. We have 2 for our Koreans, we have 1 for Southeast Asia with Voin Donkey, and 1 also for CSA. So that is really great to watch right here in this tournament. So again, with the teams to watch, the stats we have here, we have Voin Donkey with leading the pack, and then Yangon is actually, they traveled so far, like 10.5 in terms of kilometers traveled. We have Fourth Rise at 3rd place, and the Vikings closing out the top 4 teams to watch for this match.
Voin Donkey, Yangon Galacticos, Fourth Rise, and of course Vikings Esports. You know what I love about Vikings Esports, and I just have to put it out there. is that they're not shy,
Mm-hmm.
to join in any engagements when it comes to like the confidence of like really putting themselves out there. I mean, obviously, Vikings is kind of dangerous as well. But head to head, with a player, it's Vexy versus 1T here. Um, they're tied up in terms of LMs, pretty close when it comes to damage output. But as for team contribution, obviously 1T has been doing a lot, for the team, doing a lot for the Vikings, and again, great effort, I can say, from the side of Vikings. And as for the MVP, however, we got Romeo Boy, Lover Boy here, coming from YG, putting out a total of 5 elimination points for himself and a total of 637 damage output.
This is really great. Again, Yangon showing up for their region and for their country as well. 5 utilities used, but 5 eliminations for Romeo Boy right there. And as they say, Romeo, word for now. Romeo, he's sitting on the MVP bench for this match. That's where he is at. And followed closely, by the way, by Vexy, who leads Boy Donkey with the number of eliminations, which is number 4. And we have Vikings 1T with 4 eliminations, and we have Mernot Boy also from Yangon with 3.
2 members from Yangon and one from Voinanki, and of course Vikings here. Match leaderboard, if in case you just tuned in, 21 points in total for the Indonesian team here. Of course, they were able to get that winner chicken dinner, followed by Yangon Galacticos ending the game with 15 points in total. For Thrives, even though they weren't able to secure that chicken dinner, but still, 10 points is 10 points. That is a solid performance. Same thing goes for Vikings as well. Now, Boom Esports and Horror Esports, 2 teams that did not get a single point for this round. Again, this is just day number 1, and a lot of things can still happen. Perhaps this is what we call, or like the situation we're in, like the antagonist. Is that right?
Yep.
The antagonist is just letting his enemies, the enemies or protagonist, to punch them in the face first, like getting all the damage, and then they will have an explosive gameplay maybe towards the final days perhaps of the playoffs. Again, 18 teams out of the 24 will be proceeding to the grand finals, so again, plenty of chances. Maybe the teams that are really just gunning for the top here, it's more bragging rights.
Yeah, definitely. Again, the goal here is to qualify for the next round, and some of what the teams are already doing their best to do that. Speaking about Vikings, they got that a lot of throwables were used by them, and that Molotov that took out was that there was a siege with several players, and it was a molly that actually did it, and that is really how things are playing out. We have guns, we have throwables, everything but the kitchen sink is factored in with how things are playing out for all our teams.
And of course, we've got Boom Esports being at the 16th place with only 8 points in the bag here.
Yes.
So single digit score. Same thing goes for Vampire Esports. But then again, we all know the reputation, the history behind these teams, and we all know how good they are. How brutal they are in terms of like playing PUBG Mobile, of course. And the page that nobody wants to be in, the third page, of course, Talon and its Red Force. We've got RQ, we've got Alpha 7. Trope, the only team that still not managing to get any points for themselves. But E Arena, we also got Alpha 7, we also got Horror Esports here over to the third page. But then again, it's too early to say anything. Nothing is etched on stone just yet, like day 1, this is more of like getting to know each other and what you can do inside the battlefield. So we still got a lot more surprises for you guys as we progress, of course, into finishing the matches that we have for this evening. But then again, please don't go away. We'll be taking a short break, ladies and gents.
All right, legends, we're back from the break, so we're headed over onto match number 5, and this time we're dropping into the heart of it all, Erangel. The original battleground, the blueprint of where chaos is, and it's still one of the most unpredictable maps in PUBG Mobile. Again, this is Coach Abby, and I'm here with Red Queen Andy, and from the bridge blockades as Novak to the rooftop duels that we are expecting, we are back in Erangel, and we're gonna see who else is gonna come up with another chicken dinner.
Can you believe it? We're down to 2 matches this evening. You know, I mean, time really flies when we're having such a great time here. And just in case you guys missed the action that happened from match 1 to match number 4, D plus Kia with a back-to-back winner chicken dinner, and also got 4th prize. And the most recent chicken dinner of them all, of course, coming from Voin Donkey. Now, for our final E-Wrangle here, I mean, for tonight, okay? For tonight, it's going to be between Group Red and Group Yellow. So take a long, hard look at the teams that will be playing for this round. And hopefully you guys get to choose your team, you know? Who will be winning the 5th, you know, chicken dinner. And my head is already spinning. You know, it's really hard. I cannot even believe it. It's beginner's luck, you know, for Coach Abby. She was able to nail a team here with the correct prediction. Voin Donkey, ladies and gents. And what happened to the expert?
Okay, so let's just try to make that 1 point grow. Right now, I'm gonna bet on Alter Ego.
Oh, what? Same thing for expert? Okay, you guys are going for Alter Ego Ares?
I'm sorry, it came up in my brain. So
Okay.
a voice within is saying Alter
Alright.
Ego, so I'm gonna stick to that. Okay. Don't tell me you're gonna pick the same team. Come on, I know you. I know you. You have your,
We're gonna make
have
things
your-
interesting
your
for
magic
everyone. But
prediction.
just like give me a list of like, okay, the group yellow and I have to think hard for this. I can't
Okay.
even believe you already have like 1 point for yourself here.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm, mhm.
Okay. Man.
Guys, help her decide. Come on, come on.
You know what? You know what? Oh, please. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with fourth thrives now.
Oh, I don't think
They're playing. They're playing. They're
Are
playing.
they? Are they?
Are they playing production?
Okay, yeah, yeah. I guess they are. So it's a green and yellow, green and yellow, green and
Okay.
yellow.
I mean, we don't have.
I don't think they are.
They
I think it's
are?
a yellow and red. Yeah, it's a yellow and red. They're not playing. Oh,
Okay,
come
then
on. Are you guys thinking
who am I gonna pick?
Kia or
Just pick for me.
Claw?
Pick for me. Pick for me.
Okay. For you, I would pick Phase.
All right, face.
Mm-hmm.
Face. Face to face.
Yes,
Oh.
it is time for all that aggression that they showed in the last match to come up with something.
Well,
Something.
You know what? To be fair, we don't exactly have any
There's no
data
method to this
just
madness.
yet, right? I
No
mean,
method.
it's day one. We don't know which teams are really gonna pop off. You know, like who's gonna be stepping up. You know, into the first set of matches for this evening. Opening up day number one of the playoffs. So we don't know who's really in it to win it. But what I love about day number one is that you guys are having a great time. You know,
Yeah.
you guys are really, really how to say,
Showing
immersed
love.
into this whole thing and just really being passionate, you know, when it comes to supporting your favorite teams and your favorite players. So let's continue on with the positive vibes, you know,
Mhm.
let's continue on just having a little fun here when it comes to the Ruthless Invitational Showdown. You know, the teams are not disappointing. They're really putting up a great show here, and that's what we want, right? No toxicity down there in the comment section. Again, this is an off-season tournament. This is a chance for us to just bond and and have fun. Okay, so again, this is of course match number 5 here, last e-wrangle for this evening. So let's drop into a wrangle.
Yes, definitely. So the question is, will another squad, a new squad, rise to match the dominance that we saw from our previous winners, or will this be another crazy 5-point each type of match that we already saw in match number 2? So that's gonna be exciting. What we're gonna see, and a wrangle awaits.
Wow. Most I mean the players with the most knockouts all tied up at number 11. That's a nice thing to see.
Even
Highest-
11.
Highest damage rather goes to Nobu still of D plus Kia. Falak is catching up. All right, already at third here. Same thing goes for Razak of Voindunki now with 12. But still, you know, topping the charts here with all of the game titles. Are players coming from D plus Kia. And now this is quite a similar situation that we've witnessed just moments ago, you know, in the previous E-Wrangle. Same flight path. We've got plenty of space, of course, E-Wrangle. Same flight path. We've got plenty of space, of course, going on, you know, for the south side here. Same drop, I guess, for most of the teams here. I mean, the north and south of Jorgo pool is pretty much occupied. I can see Alpha 7. We also have the boys of GLUE Arena and, of course, Vampire Esports. And yeah, I believe this would be like the first area that we will be seeing a fight happen. But maybe, you know, like perhaps I'm wrong. But we're back in Pachinki here, ladies and gents.
Yes.
The territory of D Savior. And we have one team that's about to challenge them up.
And we are watching Kinotrope. I'm hoping that they last a little longer than the usual here, and get some points on the board as well. But Lee Savior is looting happily right here on screen. Again, the next zone is gonna be on the southwest side with a little bit of the military island right there also in the mix. So again, plenty of space for people to loot up and then head on over to the safe zone. But I'm still keeping my eye out on a crazy kind of zone shift that we haven't seen yet for tonight. So
Mhm.
maybe that could happen for this one.
And again, just to catch you guys up, this is between red and yellow. And we're looking at Pachinki over here, which is, of course, everyone knows about this, that D Savior, this is their turf. Okay, and we've got a challenger over here, which is of course Japan's Kinotrope Gaming. So far, so good. Nobody's exposing themselves just yet. We got Mark over here trying to get the vibe of the situation, gauging the situation. We've got Finale over at the rooftop here. Unfortunately, though, for Mark, he gets shut down, which is an advantage, of course, for the side of D-Saver. We've got Tam on the screen here holding a shotgun. But you know what? D-Saver's not like even so eager to move. They're waiting for Kinotrope to actually head on towards their direction, setting up a trap.
What I really am curious about is how Kinotrope is not backing down from hot drops even at this match. They're really trying to scrimmage and go head to head with famous hot drops, like this time with D Savior and D Savior 2504, seeing the rest of the Kinotrope players trying to cross over to different buildings one at a time. And we have Tambra on the bottom just trying to listen in and call out the shots. So he's very close to where Paragin and the rest of the gang is, but we already know they're at a disadvantage, losing one of their players.
All right, here we go. Got D Savior now moving forward, getting close to where Kinotrope is at the moment. Tam is leading the charge here. He's the one pretty close to Patagin. It's a 1-3 split, obviously coming from the side of D Savior. We got Tam just really waiting for that perfect opportunity to secure a point here. We got Finale kicking up an aid here. We got Levi's also trying to get close to these two players coming from Japan. Levi's holding to an AKM. But you know what? Kinotrope also just waiting for D-Saver to get close enough for them to be taken down in an instant.
Yeah, we're here trying to witness. It's gonna be cheeky on Pachinki. We have Kinotrope and D Savior looking each other in the eye, waiting for whoever casts the first stone, if you must say. And again, 2504 still here on top of the roof, trying to scout out the people. One grenade actually landing the target there, and Tamara is actually being taken down by Paragin. So I guess that signals the whole fight between these two teams trying to exert dominance on Pachinki.
Mark and Tam already out of the game here. Obviously, D-Saver has the advantage. I mean, Pachinki had already been claimed, right? I mean, we have D-Saver's name all over Pachinki. And Kinotrope is trying to learn that, but it is such a great shot coming from Ozzy-san. Unfortunately, though, he gets tagged from behind, so it's just Finale playing for Kinotrope. Can he do this? He's cooking up an 8 here, he is throwing it up against these Savers, trying to make it a move, but unfortunately, that was the end of the line for Kinotrope, the first team to be taken out of the equation from the last E-Wrangle this evening.
That's a great decision for D Savior, waiting it out and making sure that they don't lose a single member even after gaining 4 points. Really the king of Pachinki right now, D Savior. And we have Claw actually moving along and crossing the map. Again, from what we remember from that mini-map, the zone moved to the southwest direction of the map. So that's going to be one corner where everyone's headed over. Again, the first zone, so a little bit easier on the damage when it comes to the Blue Reaper. But again, significant in terms of timing, the crossing over, and if you have to go over the bridge, that's something that's also a factor. Vampire Esports, again, facing off against Claw right now. And Vina J is trying to back out and move on with the rest of the team being far from where he is.
Mm-hmm. So far, it's all rotations for most of the team for this final E-Wrangle this evening. Now, I just want to see like where they are exactly. So just to give you guys like the bigger picture of where they are. So most of the teams are already inside the circle. For those teams that are still outside of the zone, that would be Horror Esports, now playing with Hype Nami, Alter Ego Eris. We've got 2 of them, Moana and Alva, still outside of the circle. RRQ is the only team that is staying inside military base. But, I mean, the moment that they cross over to the main peninsula, that could be the challenge. Because there will be a lot of teams that will definitely say hello.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, it's all about timing sometimes when you are trying to avoid the zone and getting your space with you. Because if you're too early, a lot of our teams might pull up and take a spot from you. And if you are late, you're going to be the one that is being gate kept. So that's a huge part of the decision making that falls squarely on the shoulders of in game leaders. So that's why leaders really have to determine what the move is for the rest of the team.
I mean, we can understand some of the teams, like if they don't want to get into an early engagement, just because that's because rather they don't want to risk losing members at an early onset, which is of course, if you can get your full squad up until the last stages of the match, and that's always going to be an advantage, right? And we do understand that some of the teams here, they don't really want to risk it just yet. They're again trying to be perhaps experimental with the kind of engagements that they want to have inside the battlefield, and maybe even with the rotations as well. We can see that some of the players are, like using a different name here, so we don't exactly know. I mean, like who's playing, like
Yeah.
what's the lineup, for the team. But as for BTR, we don't even know if Zuxi is playing or like if Federalis is playing. But so far, let's see how this altercation is going to go down between BTR and Sem9. So far, we can see one of them really close with Sem9 and cooking up a nade here. Potentially could shut down at least one. But Sem9 has been getting some damage as well from behind. So there's another team just like within proximity here.
Yeah, this is very interesting with this ridge that we have. So Kent is right here trying to weave in and out, while on the other side of the map we have GLU and Claw also involved in some sort of gunfight. Again, the tricky part about PUBG Mobile is while you are worried about your someone close to you, someone from long range can also ruin the party for you, and that's exactly what's happening right now.
Okay, BTR trying to boost up, potentially getting a fight or an altercation up against Claw here, but coming off the kill feed though, it's the Arena versus Vampire Esports, and I can say it's a fair fight, between the two teams here. We got Joker, however, down on the ground, NC2 with 1 point in the bag here, and we've got a player from Bigatron on his knees as we speak. We've got Phobia over here, cooking up a nade here. He just threw a nade up against the opposition, was able to inflict pain, but not enough to shut anyone down at the moment. We got Claw again, trying to battle it out with Fabiano Di Pasquilla, trying to do a dance-off between this, a tree in front of them. So it's like a ring around the rosy here.
Yeah, that was such a great move right there for Di Pasquilla taking down one of the players from Claw. Again, Claw was also shooting bullets at Bigatron, and now they're facing Di Pasquilla right in their face. So that's a really tough decision for Claw. Again, we have all these movements across the map. We have people securing compounds for themselves, and people riding different sorts of vehicles to get around. And we have E-Arena right now with GLU close by, and then he shot one bullet and then ran away. I guess that's a way to distract your opponent, make them.
I guess one of the important things to consider in Battle Royale is having a contingency plan, right? You need to be proactive as much as possible. Now, we got Joker down on the ground here. Again, E-Arena still fighting up against Vampire Esports. We got NC2 trying to make a way here, trying to still defend themselves well up against the likes of Vampire Esports. But oh no, that was an accurate shot though, coming from the Arena, putting down Miola in the process. We got Onzen also trying to find an effective angle here to gain that advantage up against E-Arena.
We have Vampire Esports and E-Arena taking it head to head. And we also have the kill feed with Hora being taken down by Alter Ego. So Vampire and E-Arena still on the screen. We have two players on the second floor being pushed by Lazarus. they're trying to take their hits, but then Vampire Esports actually succeeds and takes them down.
14 teams remaining. We are at stage 3 here. Moana back on the screen. Alter Ego Ares going up against Horror Esports. Jiggle down on the ground. We've got Krypton moving up against High Dami and was able to take him down as well. Alter Ego Ares slowly gaining that advantage up against Horror. 2 points in the bag. Rosemary, however, had already been taken out of the equation here. Back to the lobby for him. D-Savior also coming into play here. We've got one of them currently knocked down on the ground. Same thing for Pata G, so that makes 2. E-Arena dominating, and just look at that. NC2, the only player racking up the points for the team. It's not far at all for him to be the MVP for this round.
6 points right now for the arena. And D-Savior joining in on the mix, getting 5 elimination points for themselves. And Hora is officially eliminated from the match. Again, exits from several teams that we are feeling right now. Vampire Esports out, Hora out, and Japan is out as well. Okay, as the zone closes in, we have movement in the map. Alter Ego still yet to get into the zone, as well as E-Arena coming off that altercation. D-Savior with one player also out of the map, and D plus Kia is also making their way on the top side. So D plus Kia is actually looking at E-Arena trying to move in, and NC2 is down, and Nolbu right now making a decision to heal himself up before riding that buggy, while Fabian is safe inside the zone.
Ooh, man. Shopper with an accurate kill. Alter Ego Ares getting picked up one by one here. I guess that was it. You know, Alter Ego Ares exiting the game with only 2 points in their pockets. And just looking at the situation for the other teams here, Sem9 already managed to get into the middle of the zone. Cannot say for now if that's actually the best decision right now for Sem9. But as for Vikings, they also managed to get a compound for themselves right down there in the middle of the circle. But anyway, we're going to go back to that in just a while because we got Claw here going head-to-head up against BTR. Although Pepeng is the last member here trying to defend Claw.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's doing great so far, unfortunately. Again, it's overwhelming for him to handle you know, a team like BDR single-handedly, so it's gonna be tough. It's an obvious outcome, but still a great performance coming from Claw, which brings us down to 11 teams remaining here, and now we're looking at Vikings going up against Sem9, and we did call it out just moments ago that, you know, this might not be the best of spot for Sem9.
The thing is, Hiryu did his best, right? They're taking down or knocking down 2 more players from BTR, but sadly, there was some shortage of firepower with facing multiple players all at once. So BTR, Bigatron able to pick up all players. They're all back in the game, and we have Vikings and Sem9 right here on a tight spot. FaZe actually taking down Fabian, knocking him down, and let's see if that pulls off into and translates to a point. But Sem9 again facing another team right now with 2 remaining players. Will they be able to survive the siege?
Man, it's hard to defend, you know, the spot where Sem9 is taking a hold of, to be honest. I mean, they're in the middle, but they don't have any cover whatsoever. You know, Yuhai is, of course, inside this shack over here. But obviously, you cannot fit the whole team here. I mean, it could be they could be all cooped up in this situation, but yeah, that was it. You know, I mean, Yuhai needs to come up with a plan here on how he can last long for this last E-Rankle round. So FaZe now managed to put up 4 elimination points under their belt here. Yuhai needs to be quiet. We got BTR on the screen, he holding onto a compound. FaZe Clan still up and still trying to, of course, try to take things slow and try to consider a lot of things and decide whether or not they're going to be engaging and racking up some points.
You know, it's a marvel that D plus Kia is still alive with 4 players with the number of altercations they've had with several different other teams, while Alpha 7 and the RRQ are trying to enjoy their moment of peace. But right now, I think they will have to come face to face with Noshim Red Force on the south side of Circle. D plus Kia with GLU right now, and RRQ is actually spoiling the fun for Alpha 7, like I called out a while ago. Now we have D plus Kia and GLU facing each other, pretty spread out. There we have GLU, and FaZe Clan right now is taking down members from Bigatron. So 2 players are up for Bigatron. Let's see if they can take one more player up and heal him up. But FaZe Clan and Bigatron are really in a tight situation there with the planes.
And Alpha 7 also racking up some numbers, for themselves as well, going up against RQ. D plus Kia now moving in like the predators that they are, making sure that they will be winning the fight here. A while ago in the previous match, they failed to secure a chicken dinner, but perhaps, this time around they could go for their 3rd chicken dinner of the night here. But let's see if they can actually get through Alpha 7 first before anything else. RQ, great shot coming from the par, and unfortunately though for Sem9, they exited the game empty-handed here. But we are expecting a strong comeback. And as for Alpha 7, they dominated RQ, eliminating them with only 1 point in the bag here, but the fight is not over just yet because we still got Nongshim Red Force getting into the scene.
Yeah, this is the thing about that south side. We have 3 players tight, moving towards each other, and that's to be expected. Now, BTR is knocked down by D plus Kia. I'm actually rooting for FaZe Clan because that's my prediction for you, Red Queen. I'm hoping you get that point right now because Alter Ego is out of the equation. But yeah, we have Alpha 7 on screen, moving in with Nongshim Red Force and NS Red Force still with 4 players, while Alpha 7 only has 3 after that clash with RRQ. Let's see who gets to get in and get that safe spot down the south side.
Okay, here we go. Alpha 7, the defending champions for the Ruthless Invitational Showdown, going up against NS Red Force. We got Revo cooking up a nade here, throwing up against Alpha 7, but not hitting anyone just yet. We got Doc C. We got a doctor in the house right behind this big rock. Okay, just trying to keep Alpha 7 at bay here, just making sure it would be difficult for Alpha 7 to step into the zone here. So let's see if they can be successful in getting through Korea's NS Red Force.
Now we have Kent from Bigatron trying to find a safe spot for himself. This is a 3-team clash right here. We have Alpha 7, D plus Kia, and FaZe Clan looking at each other, trying to avoid losing one more member, and we have D plus Kia all clumped down together with their vehicles right there in the middle of it all. Let's see if the leaders can be taken out of this match. And the zone is closing in with all the players trying to move in and get the spot again. It seems like the south side is getting their fair shot at having an advantage right now. D plus Kia eliminated by FaZe.
You know what? From the map feed just moments ago, I feel like, the Vikings would go for that zone control, because obviously NS Red Force and Alpha 7 will have to settle the fight, eventually over to the south side. Only one team, I believe, will be able to make it through. But getting back into the action here, we got FaZe Clan, Shopper right behind that haystack, trying to gauge the situation, looking at the possibility at where he could point his gun and actually rack up some points, for the team. They need to be careful now because they are a little bit exposed, to the teams that are staying right at the edge of the circle. But as for Alpha 7, we are still talking about 3 members, for this team. They managed to actually acquire a total of 3 elimination points for themselves, but they're having a hard time getting through NS Red Force, and NS Red Force doing a great job, at gatekeeping Brazil's Alpha 7.
tricky part here is still since they're on the south side, there's so much more action happening on the north side as people are trying to keep into the zone. But again, Longshim Red Force trying their best and doing their best to keep Alpha 7 at bay. They're boxing out this team, preventing them from rotating, from taking in a different angle. And FaZe Clan right now is facing Vikings. Vikings were just FaZe in the middle of it all, and it seems like the Vikings team is dominating and taking out FaZe Clan as well.
4 teams remaining, and as Red Force still in the mix here, same thing goes for Alpha 7. GLU also included in the top teams here for this round. We are already at stage 6, and this is a solid performance coming from Vikings because they already have a total of 8 points, in their pockets, which is a strong performance, I can say. Now, they are over at the south side, I believe. Yeah, just like what I mentioned earlier, they're trying to go for that zone control, which is, I can see, being effective so far for the side of Vikings. And, the fight still not over just yet between NS Red Force and Alpha 7. It's a little bit of a challenge, I can say. But, they need to settle the score. They need to get the job done.
The thing is, as Red Force is able to ruin or spoil the fun as well for the Vikings, they're knocking down one of the players. And the thing is, how do you keep up with aggression knowing that there's also one team behind you? And the way to do that is to have Beanie actually pointing his gun at Alpha 7, waiting for them to move out and calling back to their team. Superman is down for the count, and Boonty is also down, with GLU trying their best to capitalize on that knockdown by given to them by Longshim. So the Vikings are under siege right now from multiple teams.
Yeah, they're in big trouble. Oh man, perhaps they got caught off guard, I can say. That's the beauty of having that element of surprise, right? I mean, obviously, it was an effective sneak attack, but we're going to talk about that later on, because Longship Red Force right now getting, shut down by Alpha 7. Wow, that was brutal.
From being the ones boxed out, they were able to flip things over and take out Longshim Red Force, and now they are part of the top 3. In fact, they have the best odds because they have 3 players up and they're coming from the south side. The Vikings are in the middle of it all, GLU shooting at them, and that is it for the Vikings. Again, they were the ones who took down FaZe and really secured that middle position, but they were being shot at by different teams, and that kind of Red Force being eliminated as well. And Alpha 7 and GLU are the last 2 teams in the map.
Yep, it's a 3v2 situation. Let's see if Brazil's Alpha 7
we need another region to win.
Yeah, can deliver a chicken dinner for their fans. And so far, we can see that Alpha 7 obviously going in for a pinch here. Great spot coming from Carrillo, getting a point in his pocket, which brings a GLU squad down to their last member. And, I guess we can already say just which team is going to be picking up the chicken dinner for this round, because Xbox getting roasted alive while bullets are actually raining courtesy of Alpha 7. We've got Sinup as well finishing up his clip here, making sure that GLU stays down. But what a counter though. But yeah, again, just like what I said, it will be an obvious outcome. Alpha 7 definitely will be the team dominating this round.
I must say, everyone in the poll section, if you cast your vote, everyone at least gets one win. So we have one representative from the Americas. We have a Brazilian team securing a win. So right now, from all the choices in the polls, every region already secured at least one chicken dinner for themselves. So that is such a great game for everyone. And I would say this first night for this season 11 is turning out to be one heck of an entertaining saga.
I feel like the only region missing from or like lacking in this tournament would be teams coming from MENA.
Ah, maybe
Right?
sometime
Because
soon.
we got
Yeah.
we got CSA, we got Southeast Asia, we got of course teams from Japan and Korea. And again, it's an exciting part of the tournament we're in. We can have all of these superstars, in one lobby, and I just have to give props, for Ruthless because they're the only ones doing this kind of thing. Again, this is the most like the highly anticipated off-season tournament in the community. So thank you guys for always supporting, of course, Ruthless Hype Esports. I mean, this guys, you just have to give it to them. They always come up, with like a great tournament, like what we need to make or like let the community stay happy and of course alive.
Yeah, I must say that whole sequence when they were being boxed out of moving an inch because Nongshim Red Force was on their tail, and then flipping it over and getting that chicken dinner, they really fought a lot of odds to get to where they are. And as you can see, again, with one of my favorite stats, the travel distance, 13.035 meters. That just means that they really moved around the map trying to make sure that they have an even chance of landing a win. So again, hats off to Alpha 7 Esports. Great decision making on their part and going head to head with GLU squad. They have 1,400 plus damage versus 1,500. Again, a pretty even fight in terms of damage, but Alpha 7 dominating with 8 elimination points and getting 3 members to join that last zone.
To be honest, it was like a great surprise for me. NS Red Force getting taken down just like that. I mean, they do have all the advantage working out for them, facing up against Alpha 7 because they do have, of course, a little bit of that elevation and they were in position. So Alpha 7 really did have a hard time getting through NS Red Force. But just like what you mentioned, they were able to flip the script and Alpha 7 did an amazing job so far getting included in the top teams here and also securing the chicken dinner for match number 5 here in Erangel. And as for the other top performers, we have to give it to, of course, NC2 V Arena. We got Superman right here coming from Vikings. Nobu coming from D plus Kia, also included in the lineup of the overall top performers for day number 1. And Carillo coming from Alpha 7. Putting out a total of 3 elimination points and a total of 37.5% for team contribution.
So over here on our match leaderboard, we have with 18 points, of course, the people or the group with the chicken dinner. We have Alpha 7 with 10 placement points and 8 eliminations, followed by Vikings with also 8 eliminations, and the very active FaZe Clan with 9 elimination points, running up the top 3 podium finish. Sadly, we have Sem9, Claw Slayers, Hora, and Kinotrope with 0 points total for this match, but really a great way to shake things up in terms of the leaderboard, because this time we have D plus Kia just getting a single digit point for this round. Well, a first time for them, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they were able to secure 2 chicken dinners.
I feel bad though for Japan's Kinotrope Gaming. This is the first time that I've casted a tournament with them actually get participating in this lobby. And after match number 5, they still haven't gotten any points, for themselves. But perhaps, they could go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, after this day, they will have a chance to go through this first broadcast and be able to come up with a much more effective plan, for day number 2 of the playoffs.
Definitely. And we can see right here, we have more throwables used again. From match 1, we only had 105, if I remember. And now we have 260 throwables being used. A testament to how action-packed this is. Again, that last stage, with part of it being the planes, is so important to have that kind of mix-up where you don't really actually know where everyone is shooting from. So that's really, really great. Over here, we have our overall rankings as of match 5 of day 1. We have Bigatron on number 9 spot and Sem9 at number 16. A lot more teams are expected to shake things up as well. A lot of movement in the leaderboard with Longshin Red Force jumping up to number 10, taking a huge leap, 8 spots to be specific. Okay, some shakeups are happening, but again, we have to clarify. This is a round robin, so you don't really actually predict that standings because some teams have played for 3 games, some teams have played for 4 games, but each team will be able to play a total of 4 games for this night. So until the end of match 6, that's when we will actually see where everyone's fate lies as of day 1.
But you know what? As for Kinotrope of Japan, maybe they do have a surprise for us come day number 2 of this competition. You know, like again, it's not how you start the game, but how you finish it. Okay, Mission Control, you're confusing me, but you know what? We're down to our last game for day number 1, the playoffs, ladies and gents. So don't go away. We'll be taking a short break.